Hello and welcome. This is Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and we are getting started in just a little more than 5 minutes. I'm just coming on a couple of minutes early so that people can have a chance to find the broadcast since it is on Facebook and to have a chance just to get settled and logged in. So I will be checking back with you very shortly. And be sure and like the StreamYard app so that I can see your questions and comments. Hey, how you doing? For some reason, it's not letting me type back, but I am so glad that you've joined us. Be sure and say hi as you come on, and I would love to see where you are tuning in from. We are going to have some fun tonight. Getting my little aerobic workout ahead of time, building up, getting the strength, limbering up, getting ready for you. You getting ready? All right. Hey, grab a pen and paper because we are going to have a blast. You're in the right place. We're starting in, actually closer to almost 3 minutes. We got some folks still logging on. It's not usual that I do a presentation in the evening. Kind of excited about this one. If you hear some scritching around, I'm still adjusting my microphone a little bit. It is dancing along with the music. Hello and welcome. This is Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and you're absolutely in the right place at the right time in the right way, because this is a special encore presentation of the Virtual Commanding Wealth Circle, a group that I host each and every Tuesday in our TOC Money Mindset Mastery. Now, the idea of this group is you would say simple. And it has to do with this, that we are all working. We all have a vision. We have a dream. We have some place that we feel like we are moving towards in life, right? We investigate what's possible. We study. We plan. We pray. We talk about it. We do all these things. But there's really this sense that it's us alone, that we're kind of alone, and that we have this idea, we're working and we're making all this effort, but your friends and family don't quite get it. They love you, they support you, they believe in you, and they want you to be happy, but they really don't understand. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to just explain something to you. Right now, my family is at dinner down the hall, and you may hear some background noises. We have some visiting relatives, and so the house is kind of full. And I don't normally do an evening event, so if my family noise spills over, that's just part of what's happening tonight. Okay, that's one of the joys of working from home. But we're doing this, and when you tell your family about your big win or your celebration, they go, "Yeah, that's good. Good for you." And you go, "No, you don't know what I had to do to make that happen. I had to slay some dragons. I had to confront my fears. I had to learn some new skills. I was shaking in my boots and I made the phone call anyway. I had to go way outside of my comfort zone. And I had a lot of people along the way who lovingly and gently told me maybe I should turn back." Anybody have that experience? And your ambition, your hopes and dreams can make other people a little uncomfortable. You're rocking their boat. You're challenging their comfort zone. So we created this experience called the Virtual Commanding Wealth Circle, where we come together as a community every week at noon on Tuesday, and we come together and we state what it is that we want to attract, create, or manifest. Because we're not just doing this through our own effort. We're doing this as we're aligning to our higher and greater state of being. We're activating unused portions of our brain so that we can operate with our whole mind. And we're doing this with the process, or with the book or the method, called The One Command, written by the incredible Asara Lovejoy. And The One Command is a book by that name. It's the name of the process. And I had the pleasure of working with Asara and being a co-founder of the One Command Global Corporation, where we took the One Command and we turned it into Commanding Wealth and a practitioner certification course and circles all over the world, and so many courses. And eventually Miss Lovejoy and I, when I say Miss Lovejoy, I say out of respect, she's a Sarah. And I've known Sarah since 1997. I was a student of hers as a hypnotherapy student, and then joined her the same school and became a teacher. We've been business partners, best friends. Our daughters are friends. Our grandbabies played together. We traveled the world and have just had incredible experiences together. And then when Asara was ready to move on to another phase of life, now she wants to live a little quieter, not doesn't really want to travel and do all the things that she was doing. She passed on all the Commanding Wealth seminars to me, and it's my honor and privilege to bring this work out to the world. And so we're doing this I did this through one-on-one coaching with people, help them to, one, get really clear on what it is that they want, what it looks, what their success looks like, how do you want it, and then what's stopping them. And I help people achieve that bigger vision and overcome the programming and limiting beliefs that could be stopping them. And I've been doing this particular work of the Commanding Wealth alone since 2005. So this is my life's work, and I just love it. I want to say hi to David. Happy to see you. Guys, I cannot see the comments from the Facebook group. So if I'm not responding to you, forgive me. There's something going on with StreamYard tonight, but if you haven't had a chance to like the StreamYard app yet, please do so now, and that I should be able to see your comments. So let me explain what's going on. Why are we together? Why am I doing this special call tonight? And as I said, I do this call every Tuesday, and today I shared this idea with the group. We had this incredible call, and people were sending me texts like, oh my God, this was the best one ever. This was so fun. You're on fire. And something had happened that my computer had shut down, and I had to reboot it, and it did not record correctly. Something happened in the moment there. And so I said, I really want to make sure that I can bring as much of this teaching as possible to you. Okay, so let's dive in, and let me explain just a little bit about what's happening here. What we're going to do tonight, normally in the circle format, when we do this, we join usually by Zoom, and we have a little check-in, and we like to find out what's working, right? Any wins, that type of thing. What are we celebrating? And then I find out what you're commanding for. And this week, and I actually had done this last week, and I've got the recordings here. It's here on the channel, but it's also here in the Facebook group. And I will show you at the end how you can make sure that you have access to all of the recordings of the past calls. I also want to mention too that I've got some really specific things that we are going to be saying tonight in our affirmations and commands, and I will make those slides available at the end of the presentation. I'll post that in a link in the chat box, okay, or in the description, okay? All right. So we always do that, and then last week I turned it on its head. I said, I don't want to check in and get each individual one, because what had been happening was, and this has happened over the last year, that I check in with each person, and then a little teaching happens, and then it was getting longer and longer because the size of the group is growing. But then I noticed there's a particular theme. And last week, I talked about intention, and we've been talking a lot about intention because it's a new year. In fact, I did a Commanding Abundance, Set Your Intention for 2021 11-day challenge to clear your mind and get clarity on what it is that you want 2021 to be about, what you want it to look like, and what those right actions would be to make it a reality. Okay, so there's already a lot of momentum that's happening. And we started talking about state of being and what you need to, how you need to be positioned internally in order to make a command. Now, very often when we're doing affirmations, meditations, when we're doing affirmations, like, affirmations and commands, and we do this, people tend to, they get a little bit where it's almost like they're trying to format the exact right statement so that it impresses the universe so much, right? I'm going to say these words and the universe will have to comply to these words. But in reality, there are the words, but there's the meaning behind the words, and then there is your authority behind those words, okay? And we talk about intention because intention is the force that is what goes out in front of you, and your actions align to that. As you hold your intention and you've made your decision in your intention, you've made your decision about what you want, you've committed to it, and then you go about exploring. It's like, well, how do I make it happen? And then you start saying, well, what do I need to learn? What kind of, what kind of actions? What do I need to learn? What's the best environment? What do I need to give up? We start thinking about all of that, right? But if we're really aligned to our intention, an amazing thing starts happening. The world and the environment starts meeting it. And here's what I mean. One of our members, Richard, his job ended, and he had an intention to start seeing one-on-one clients again as a professional psychic. He's done that work for many years. He's an incredible medium. And he was a little nervous. He's going, I don't know how I'm going to market my business. I don't know how to get these clients in. This Facebook stuff is really weird. Back in the old days when I did this, all I had to do is put up a flyer and head over to a bookstore, right? And everybody was at the bookstore. And basically, you show up at the bookstore and everybody's pretty excited to see you. And they're in the habit of going, well, there's no bookstores anymore. And online world's gotten really noisy. And so he was nervous. But he aligned to it, and then he took action. And the first thing that happened was he went to a store and somehow struck up a conversation with someone who said, well, you're a psychic medium. I'm actually looking for a medium. I was hoping to meet one. And then he wound up doing a session. He was pretty happy. What happened? His intention and her intention matched. And this is what throws us off so often. Like, if we want to operate from this greater state of being, we want to operate from a higher consciousness, but then when we investigate what the world says to do to get your results, we go to those A personality people who said, step 1, do this, step 2, step 3, right? If you've ever done anything on building your own business, or you wanted to start a Facebook group, anything that you've wanted to do, what do they say? Step 1, figure out your niche. Step 2, you got to, there's your offer, and what makes it unique, and then what's your platform, and you do all the stuff, right? But then some weird thing happens that's, random, and then step 4, collect money, and you're like, I don't know how to do that random thing. Right. And I had that experience when I was first starting my business, and I was working every day. I was diligent. I was taking the action. I was doing everything that I knew to do. And then something would happen. Like, I started promoting a class and people started contacting me, and I say, how did you find out about me? And they said, on your website. And I thought, that is so cool, because I don't have a website. They didn't know themselves. They saw my number somewhere, or maybe they found me on Meetup. They didn't know how they found me. This is before Facebook. But they said, I don't know, I think it was your website, or somebody told me, I don't know, but I just felt like I needed to contact you. So how do you build a marketing plan around that, right? Well, you got to turn it on its head. You got to say, you know what? I'm going to set this intention that I'm going to create this result. I'm just going to talk to you about this for a minute. Okay. And we got some really cool slides. We'll go into that in a second. But here's what I want, and here's what it looks like. And you got to see yourself doing it. Now, I have all this lined out in the Commanding Abundance, and I've talked about this a lot, and you've probably studied this a lot. But you've got to be able to see yourself doing it. But if you're not really committed and you don't really see yourself doing it, then it's really easy to get distracted with all the shiny object stuff. You go, well, I don't know. I thought I might try this, or I do this, or you get working, and then life happens and you get bumped, and you go, what was I doing? And then you're mad and the pressure starts building, and then you start criticizing yourself and go, what's wrong with me that I can never finish anything? Or I tried the thing and it went okay, but I don't know. I didn't get a big feedback, because I'm reading all these stories that they just had an idea. This other person had an idea and 1,000 people showed up, right? And it always seems simpler, and they don't know that they're going through a learning process. They don't really understand that. They don't know how to keep aligning back to that intention, because what happens is the fear and anxiety start kicking in, and then start repressing it. Okay. And you go, no, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to speak negatively. I'm only going to speak positively, and I'm going to fix my mind on it. But they're never really addressing the deeper part of them. Okay. So I'm going to teach you how to really relax into your body and create this state of being that allows you, but actually makes it easier, makes it almost inevitable. Like there's nothing to do except succeed once you get this piece accomplished. And we're going to have some fun with this. Okay. So some things you might have seen before. I've got a fun little video, and I've got a meditation that I'm going to take you on. There is no selling on this. In fact, what there's going to be is an invitation to join the Facebook community if you haven't already. And I'm going to show you how you can join my private group that has all the archives for all the past calls, plus some bonus materials. That's the big offer. And then, of course, if you want to be able to work with me, I'm always happy to work with you on that. Okay. So David, thank you. So he's saying put all the replays on YouTube. I had them, and then I had a couple of instances where people said, it was really a private thing that I shared with the group. So I can't really put all of it out there because there's some really personal things out there. But I do use YouTube to host my videos. Okay. But I've got a lot of others on my channel too. Okay. So that's the reason that I've pulled a lot of those Commanding Wealth videos off. All right. Hey, let's just get rolling on this. Okay. All right. So first, I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And right now, I want to just invite you to become present with me. And when we are in the circle, when I work with people one-on-one, there's an internal position that I have, internal position. And what I feel and believe is all the parts of me are having a conversation with all the parts of you. And we're meeting on all these different levels of existence at once. But what I'm focusing on and what I'm directing my attention to is the master that you already are. So you'll hear me say something like, the master in me greets the master in you. And just in this space, bring your attention to your heart. And actually kind of look down. And I'll say it again. The master in me greets the master in you. And in this space, let there only be love between us. Isn't that lovely? Very often when we're meeting the world, we are sometimes meeting it needy. We're hoping people will listen to us. We're meeting the world from an angry position. We're not always in that master space. But as you learn to meet the master in you and then start consciously meeting the master in other people, just by having that idea, the world is suddenly going to be much more cooperative. So let's do that one more time. And just even think about difficult people. Now, I worked in the apartment industry before I did that. I waited tables, and I grew up with my dad in our family-owned grocery store. So I've worked with the public my whole life. So don't tell me about difficult people. I know difficult people. And what I discovered about difficult people is that they're difficult because they don't know what else to do. Okay. If they had any other way to get their needs met and get what they wanted, they would do that thing. Right. And so I never argued with someone being difficult. In fact, difficult people are kind of fun. I was the one when people would come into the office and they'd be yelling and screaming at one of my leasing agents. They'd say, "Get Kathryn in here." And I'd go run into that difficult person. You know why? Because I had an intention to turn it around. And what my vision was us walking out with the situation resolved in a way that worked for both of us. And as I did that time and time again, people would just be watching and shaking their head. Sometimes the person I was talking to was like, going, "I don't know how that happened." Right? Well, it's because I made the decision to meet the master in them. So let's do that again. Okay. Right now, the master in me greets the master in you. And in this space, let there only be love between us. You have all the knowledge that you need. You have all the experience. You have every single thing you need right now to create whatever you want in your life. But it's kind of like when you've lost your glasses or your car keys and you've gotten distracted. And then you get in this, I gotta get, I can't find them. And then when you find your keys, there they are, right? Well, that's what's going on. We are just in the process of remembering. So I want to invite you, what is it that you want to attract, create, or manifest in your life? Are you wanting to manifest a particular amount of money? Do you want a new job or a career? Are you wanting to attract or manifest a new relationship? Are you commanding for divine health? Which, by the way, with the one command process, we have story after story of people of their health being dramatically restored in a very short time. And in 2 of my workshops, people had shown up in wheelchairs and walked out. Now, I'm not going to claim that that's what had happened, but they met something greater in them and they said yes to it. And that's all that happened. And I just want to know that there's something, from you, there's some greater thing that you're wanting to create. You're holding the vision for, but maybe you have a big need, right? And a lot of times when I work with my clients, I go, "Well, if you had it, how would you feel?" And the first thing they go is like, "Oh, I'd feel so relieved. Oh, man, I'd feel better," right? Well, the thing is that most people are living from this state of fear and anxiety. They're worried. They don't know how. Remember I said this, wonderful random thing happens? Well, the mind hates random. It wants to know what the steps are. But your emotional body just wants to know that it's going to be taken care of. Hey, how you doing? Just wants to know that you're going to be safe, you're going to be provided for. Just wants to know that it's okay. But very often when we're thinking about, I want to get my bills paid, and you're worried about the bills being paid at the end of the month, right? We go, "Oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills at the end of the month." Well, right now, you're in this state called worry. And you want the bills paid, and you want to be a responsible person. You want to do the right thing. You want to pay your bills on time, but mostly you want to be free of the anxiety and the tension, right? And so when we do the one command statement, this is the basic statement. I don't know how. And then you would state what you want. I only know I do now, or it is so now, and I am fulfilled. Now that's the basic statement. Because right now you really don't know, but you've made a decision that it's so. Okay. You've made the decision that these bills are getting paid. You don't know how yet. There's no proof. And you might even think, well, I need to have faith that I can pay my bills, right? Actually, you don't. What you need is a belief that you can, because Faith is only for when there's no evidence. And there's a lot of evidence in your own life that you've paid the bills. There's a lot of evidence in the lives of millions of people that somehow the money makes its way to you, right? Did you ever think about this? When there's something that you need, that the universe doesn't have to stop to create it. It's already there. Like if you have a flat tire, and pardon me if you've heard this before, because I said this on the Commanding Abundance, and I did say it today. But if you had a flat tire, there wouldn't suddenly have to spring up a whole new manufacturing plant and create this whole concept called a wheel and a tire and rubber and invent rubber trees. We don't have to do all that. It already exists. We know about tires. We don't have to spend one iota of faith or suspend disbelief to believe that a tire exists. We know it to be true. Yes? We also know that money exists. There's a whole money system, and there has been for many, many years. And beyond a money system, we have a barter system. And then there's this thing called a gift system. And then we have this other system called surplus, where we might go find it, right? So we have all these ways where there's money and trading value. So that doesn't have to be created. But what do we lack? We lack the belief about our ability to put those together. We lack a belief about being able to change our circumstances, or to be able to create a certain set of behaviors that could produce a particular result. And so what happens is you wind up being at the effect of your fear in your situation, and that creates the anxiety, tension, worry, stress, depression, collapse. I can't handle stress anymore. I have a health situation, and after years of I haven't lived a stressed out life. Literally right now, if I get stressed out, I pass out. So it's like stress nap. So I don't have to create that, right? If I want to be at the cause of this happening, I have to have a clear intention, and I have to have that decision. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we've got to have this right atmosphere and this right energy. So we have to have the right belief. Now, belief is tricky because we can have a conscious belief. It's like, well, of course it's possible. But then you've got that little undercurrent that says, yeah, but not for me, or knowing my luck, or yeah, it's possible for everybody else, but not for me because of my bad luck, or because of my unique circumstance, or because my family or religion or where I live, or whatever we tell ourselves that is the exact opposite of true. I'm not going to say it's a lie, but it feels true because you've said it to yourself so often. Okay, you've gotten that habit of thought. You've created this inner atmosphere of distrust, and then you've created this other defense mechanism called cynicism, right? But that, yeah, right, whatever voice, that is not really yours. That's the voice that probably popped up about the time you were a little kid, and you had a hope or an idea, and you had this big excitement, and your family was like, yeah, right, you're going to be something. You're going to do something. Ringing any bells? Does that feel true? Okay. So first, we've got to create this inner and this outer atmosphere. Okay. And we got to think about, what state of being do you want to be in when you, I want to say, I'll read it to you. What state of being do you want to manifest your one command from? So when you think about what it is that you want to create, what state of being do you want to be in? Do you want to be freaked out and mad and screaming at the universe? Or do you want to be like confident, calm, and go, you know what? I'm a miracle maker. I can do this. But another way to ask that is, what state of being do you want to receive the fulfillment of your one command? Okay. What state of being do you want to receive it? Now just think about that for a minute. Do you want to be like grateful, appreciative? Do you want to feel like you're in your magic? Just a real quick story about this. For weeks, this happened several months ago. This message just kept bubbling up out of my spirit, where I was telling people, said, "You can manifest whatever you want from your state of being alone." And I thought, I know that's true, and I know that that's actually how we create everything. The actions are just supporting that state of being. It's supporting that intention. Okay, and what I mean by that is, well, I'll talk to you about that in a second. But I said, I want to prove that. How could I prove that? And one morning I woke up like around 4, which I do quite often. And I thought, I want to test this. I want to prove that this is true. I want to get a physical manifestation that was created only by my state of being. And so I said, I want to create $1,000 only by my state of being. And the state of being that I want to create it from is appreciation. And I have a bend in my personality, and it comes from my family system of being kind of negative and a little bitchy. Okay. And it's a personality flaw that I've really had to commit to working on, to really shift that mindset, watch my mouth, and really get control of my attitude so I have the right attitude. I've really had to work on that in my life. And I notice that when I'm tired, that's the attitude that shows up. So when that negative part kind of shows up, I know that I'm stressed and I am not in alignment. Okay. And it's time for some self-care. But I thought, I want to be in a state of appreciation. So I just started thinking about everything I appreciated, from the pillow I was laying on to how much I just loved the sheets, and how I appreciated what my living situation and the people in my life and the people I get to work with and the ability to do my own business. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then my beautiful brain said, "Oh, I know how you can make some money. Why don't you send a message out to the email list? Oh, I guess I could do a little special. I could do this, this, this." And all of a sudden I stopped. I said, "No, what I've committed to is to create $1,000 for my state of being alone, this state of being of appreciation. Beautiful, busy brain, I appreciate you. So let's get on board." Okay, let's get on board. So then I went back to sleep, and I just was going to let my subconscious mind deal with that. And a friend of mine that I've known for 40 years, but we've just reconnected over the last few years. We dated way back in the day when we were in our early 20s. And he called up and he's like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Like 6:30 in the morning, because he lives in Alaska. And I was like, "I'm good." And he's like, "How's business?" I said, "My business is incredible. It's going great guns. I'm just having a great time, and I got a full client roster, and I've just sold a class, and things are just really good right now." And he said, "Well, things are real good for me." And he said, "But listen, if you ever need anything, please let me know. Like if you needed $1,000 sent to you, I can send it to you today. Are you sure you don't need the money?" It's like, "No, I'm sure. And I would never ask you for money, but thanks." Right. And it kept going on. And finally, the third time he brought it up, I finally said, "Do you just want to give me money?" And he's like, yes, I want to give you money." I said, "Why in the world do you want to give me money?" He said, "Because I just appreciate you. I just appreciate the fact that we get to talk again. I never thought I'd get to talk to you ever again. And now we're friends. And I just love that." And I said, "Well, it's weird that you would say that." And I told him about my intention. He said, "Yes, I'll send you the $1,000, and no, don't pay me back." And that's within 2 hours. And so what did I do? I made a decision about what I wanted, and I committed to it, and I kept focusing on my state of being. If you're writing it down, that's a writer downer right there. But let's go back to this question. So what state of being do you want to manifest your one command from? Or what state of being do you want to receive the fulfillment of your command? Okay. All right. Well, most importantly, the first thing that you have to do is you have to be the person in authority, that you have the right to ask. And this is really this is a core piece. Very often people get hung up on their worthiness. Are they good enough? And that is going to come up. The universe is going to test you. It says, are you serious about this? And are you really committed? But it's not doing it to just run you and make you jump through hoops. It's doing it so it can prepare you so that you're able to receive everything that you're commanding for. And initially, when you command, I'm going to let you know this, that initially, when you shift over in that state of mind, you say, this is what I want, you've already shifted your vibration. You've already got raised your vibration, and you're no longer where you were, and you've already started to expand your sense of what's possible. That when you did that, that literally started shifting your brain. Okay. And a lot of your inner programming starts showing up in the outer world, and the people who love you and support you, and sometimes are not so loving and supportive, the way that they've known you is at this certain level. And so sometimes they start acting up to try to get you back, right? Positive intention. Think about tribal beliefs, and all of us have to stay together to stay safe. Do not run to the edge of the cliff. We might not be able to save you. Everybody stay back over here. That amygdala is screaming in the brain, right? So this is natural. You're starting to have an effect, okay? But it's not them acting up. You're actually at a new level of awareness of all the chaos that was normal, and it's no longer normal. And it will be normal to question, who am I to ask? Well, why shouldn't you ask? Why wouldn't you have the right? And that's one of the first beliefs that you're going to confront, okay? And so I have the right to ask just because I'm breathing in and out. Okay. If you never do anything else right in your life, just because you're breathing in and out, you'll always have the right to ask. Okay. And the universe, really, it's no respecter of persons. If one says, I want it, and it's working in aligned intention, and the universe and the world starts aligning to that and answering, and then the environment starts shifting, and all the forces start bending to their will. It does not matter if it's for good or evil. Honestly, whatever that intention is, it's going to get fulfilled if it's positive or negatively expressed. Okay. It's not going to care. So why not you? It actually would make more sense. It would be better if you got what you wanted because of the kind of person you are, because you're helpful, because you're loving, because you have a service heart, right? You're going to do way more good with any abundance that comes into your life. Okay. But you have to be I have the right, and you have to operate from that authority. Okay. So in standing in that authority, that is a big shift. And when you're first learning to do that, it may initially feel fake, and everybody waits to, they try to build up their confidence. They try to build up their motivation. They try to build up their power and then do the thing. The only thing is, you have to make the decision, start taking action, and all that stuff follows. Okay. So that's how that works. But first, you've got to decide that, yeah, I have the right to ask this, and it's my right to do so. Okay. When you're claiming your right, then you got to take the responsibility that goes with it. Okay. So the second part of this is that we have to create a new lens that we are viewing our reality through. And you have what it is that you desire, but we want to create initially this first lens that everything you want, need, or desire is right here, right now. And right now, just make that statement out loud and notice how true it feels, like on a scale of 1 to 10. Everything I want, need, or desire is right here, right now. And just notice if that feels true or not true. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a one command statement. Okay. So this is the second part of it. We're going to be using this statement. All right. So now here comes the fun part. You go, what the heck is that stuff? Food. Well, we have to calm down the reptilian part of the brain, the fearful part. We've got to relax our neurology. Okay. And this is what I was talking about. This is a little piece that I want to teach you that is going to help to allow your manifestation to arrive faster. It's when we work with the one command process, an incredible thing happens. We walk you through the 6 steps to theta. We have you roll your eyes up. And then when you roll your eyes up, that naturally causes your neurology to quiet down, come to a natural pause so that it can receive this new command and new direction. This creates a neurological shift in your brain and through your whole body. Okay. And people ask, how many times do I have to do the one command statement? And truth is, you only have to do it once. But what we may need to do is to remind ourselves and turn it more into an affirmation. Or there could be another little what we call consideration, like we clarify on that. It's like, oh, I want to fine tune that. I want to make sure that I add this, or I make sure that I can do this without having to do the other thing. But it's best if we speak simply and directly from a place of authority. But we need to prepare our neurology. And one of the best ways to do that is to calm the reptilian animal part of our brain. Okay. And by having a snack on your desk or near you, somewhere where you can see it in your room, you could have a healthy snack, some nuts. You can even just have a nice picture like this, and that will trick the brain because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between that image and what's actually on the table. Even though you go, yeah, no, I can smell it, I can see it, I know it's there. Now, I learned this back in working in the office, but also in my seminar days. And what we were taught was make sure that you've got some food and water available that people can see as they come in, because when they're in a new environment, the first thing they do is, what do you do? Where are the exits? Where am I, how am I going to get out of here? Where can I best sit where I'm not going to be disturbed, right? And where are the bathrooms? So you're immediately looking at all the things you need to take care of yourself. But then if you see that your basic sustenance is cared for, then there's this level of real relaxation. So it's not just make sure that you have food there, make sure that you've got some water. Here's mine. And by having that there, that things are taken care of. I'm about to teach you a really powerful process that I share with my one-on-one clients when they call and they are really freaked out and their mind is racing a million miles a minute and their anxiety and tension and all that fear is up, or they're in that upset mode. And I've got to get them calmed down so that they can even listen, so they can begin to even think about reframing or starting to do some of the processes that will help them make the shift. So you've got to take care of that most basic part of you. Okay. The other thing is, if you want to manifest money, you need to have some money around. Now, this has to do with how the brain generalizes. Okay. And this is one of the reasons that the circle works so well, because when we're making this statement, like we go, well, what do you want to create, attract, or manifest? You go, you know what? I want to create $20,000 a month. If you went and did that at a business group, they go, okay, that's your goal, $20,000 a month. How much is your product, and how many products do you have to sell per month to reach that? And how many how many leads do you have to convert into customers, to convert into sales? And then what do you do after, and what is the process? And you're like, I don't know. Right. And we try to create from that. First, we've got to get to where it's generalized. So when we're there, we go, hey, I absolutely know that you have that $20,000 and I support you. It's a given, right? And then we create this incredible feeling. Well, what happens is you have this idea, And then this good feeling comes in of being supported. And then when your brain starts looking for, hey, I want to create that money. Where am I going to go get it? It says, I want to go get that money, and it needs to match this good feeling, right? It generalizes. So we want to make sure that we've got some symbols of our money around. Now, in the world today, we've got cash, we've got the folding money, we've got coins, we've got credit cards, and I like to have it on my desk, but I like to hear it. You've got to involve all of your senses, right? And when I get money, when I get paid, and especially if I'm having a great day, like, oh, maybe I've booked several appointments for the week, or I've sold a class or something, and that money, I'm watching that money coming in, I'm going like, money, 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 whoa, money, 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 money. And so I'm already remembering the times I've made money, and then I'm building up that positive, good memory. And that's how the normal brain works, because it projects that into the future and says, what is that match, right? And I'm not doing anything magic, but I'm creating some fun and enjoyment. Now, fun is really a big value of mine. And so I've got to, if whatever I do, I've got to have fun at it. Like if you came and visited me in one of my offices back in the day, you might walk in on a singing, dancing, straight up like dance, practicing a dance number. My crew usually performed at our corporate meetings and stuff like that. I don't know how I got these guys to do it, but we always had a good time, a lot of laughter, because we worked really hard, and we spent so much time at work. We just wanted to make sure we had a good time. But what we found was that we were more productive, and we looked forward to work, and it created a deeper bond. But I wanted to share this with you. And have you seen this guy on YouTube? And he's really tying together. This is a TikTok video. And what he has you do is get 4 pennies, rub them together, and shake them like a dice. And then this is the mantra. Okay, and I've got it posted in the TOC group. But I'm going to play a little bit for you. I'm going to rock this, and I want to invite you to just listen to a minute of it with me. Okay, you ready?
Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. And every time a ching money comes to me, it all flows in so abundantly. From the top, left, right, and up under me. Wave, 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 I'm a money wave. Money flow, money made. Flowing in and out, plus money saved. Debt, 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 all debt is paid. Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. And every time a ching money comes to me, it all flows in so abundantly. From the top, left, right, and up under me. Wave, 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 I'm a money wave. Money flow, money made. Flowing in and out, plus money saved. Debt, 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 all debt is paid. Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. And every time it
Yeah, isn't that fun? Well, you want to get that sense of fun. How do I want to receive money? I want to receive money in a way that is fun. How do I want to work? I want to do it in a way that is enjoyable, that I can look forward to it, right? So we do this. And the reason that we do all this is because we really want to create this sense of abundance around us, and that there's so much abundance inside of us and outside of us that our table gets longer. When we are in fear, when we're in anxiety, our brain starts getting smaller and smaller, and we start thinking, well, at least, and keep those people out of there. And we get offended, and who we going to eliminate and cut out of our lives. And we start having those kinds of conversations, and those are not productive conversations. Honestly, I want to encourage you to be sure when you catch yourself doing that, to stop and go, well, actually, what do I want instead? What kind of relationships do I want to attract? What kind of people do I want to spend my time with? Right? Who is the master that I want to greet and spend time with? Who's the one that I want to meet? That's going to redirect your mind, because the brain doesn't know how to cut out. It doesn't know how to eliminate, right? So let's say this. If I said, don't think of a purple cow, what did you just think of? A purple cow, right? It doesn't it doesn't know how to self-delete that way. So when we say, I don't want negative people, it goes negative people. We want negative people. Are we getting negative people? Let's get ready for them. Let's get ready for a fight. Let's create a whole bunch of drama, right? Are we going to be the victim, or are you going to be the one who's going and clearing the boards, right? What are we going to do here? What's that role? Let's go find some negative people and have a good fight, right? We don't want to do that. You want to create what I call an atmosphere of a particular feeling. So if you had an atmosphere of abundance inside of you and outside of you, what would that look like? What would it feel like? It might be very much like this. This is Luxury Mountain Cabin Winter Ambient Snow falling, and you can just hear the fireplace crackling. Just looking at that, isn't that lovely? And so we want to create this inner atmosphere and this outer atmosphere. One thing I do want to say is that you want to make sure that you are taking some action to support it. Now, we always think, okay, you're going to lay down, you're going to do those, you're going to make the decision, then you're going to take massive action. But the truth is, any action you take, no, sweetheart, that's my dog. I'm so sorry. He's very interested in something going outside. When you attach an action, right? And so whatever you do, like when you get done with this, you may go make a snack. You may go brush your teeth. I don't know what you're going to do. You may go start getting ready for bed, or maybe get ready for the day. I don't know what time you're watching this. But if you said, I want to attract, create, or manifest $20,000 cash money each and every month, that's a good start, right? Some people that's low, some people that's a big stretch, but that's a nice number. Then if you were to start making your bed and say, as I'm making my bed, I'm preparing for my good to arrive. As I'm taking this action, I'm preparing for my good to arrive. So start consciously attaching actions to your intention. I have to say, Asara Lovejoy was the one who really taught me that, because we had an office in San Diego, and it would be the day of us having a meeting. And she said, well, we're going to clean the office. Now, she could have said, look, we got people come in, let's get the office clean. And I would have gone right along with it, because that went with my training. Company come in, better get your house clean. I had no problem. Let's get to work. But she attached a higher intention. She said, as we clean the office, we're preparing it to receive money. As we take out the trash, we're making room for our abundance to arrive. And so she was very conscious, and she spoke that into everything. And I could just almost feel that energy and that intention just being absorbed into the space and raising the vibration. And then so everything that I was already doing consciously and unconsciously was aligning to that. And our classes filled up very quickly. And ideas, and there was just this flow. It was a very exciting time. And I really and truly believe to this day that cleaning, that time of making space and holding that concentration. And then she would be present and to the cleaning of the glass and how beautiful it was. It shined while she's holding that intention of the space and the environment she wanted to create for the people. There was a lot going on in that hour and a half that we went through and cleaned up the office. But that's how Asara did everything. And that's became the way we did everything. Even as I was setting up lists and learning how to do things and making phone calls, as I'm taking this action, I'm aligning to our abundance and prosperity. So right now, I'm going to invite you to think about what it is that you want to attract, create, or manifest. Okay? And think about the state of being that you want to create it from. What is that feeling state? Is it appreciation? Is it joy? Is it confidence? Is it power? Yeah. What do you want to create it from? And then what is the state of being that you want to have it manifested in? And it could both be the same thing. Like, yeah, what if you were creating and receiving in a state of appreciation? Wow. That's so powerful. And then what if you just spent 5 minutes a day consciously being in that state? And when I say doing that, like, don't try to put it on your phone, make it real, make it a committed time that you do it. It's part of my waking up and going to sleep. And in the files, I have a daily practice sheet. And that you're saying, here's what my intention is. Here's what the evidence would look like of it. And then we have a time at night that we're reflecting on it. So twice a day, I'm holding that energy. And the natural time to do it is upon waking and sleeping, because we still are very engaged in our theta brainwave, and we're in this expanded sense of what's possible, and our unconscious mind is much more receptive. And then as we start coming into wakefulness, then we start getting ideas and direction from our intuition and our inner guidance. Okay. So far, has this been helpful? Just what we've gone through so far. And I'd love to get your feedback on how this is, or if anyone has any questions. I'm going to take a little sip of my water. Okay. All right. So I want to teach you a piece that I do with my clients. And I'm going to make the statements. I'm going to have you repeat them with me. And then we're going to put it all together. Okay. So right now, I know that there's something that, just by this virtue that we're human, there's something that you want to create, but you're not sure how, and it could be creating some tension or concern for you. Okay. And just think about what it is that you want to create, and notice what feelings come up. And the reason that this matters is very often when there's something we want to create, here's our end goal right here, and where we are now, unless we've really trained our mind, what instinctively the brain will want to put in is all the problems that need to get solved, all the challenges. And then next thing you know, your brain's going down this rabbit hole, and you're fantasizing about everything that could go wrong instead of fantasizing about all the things that could go right. And we're not putting into it your intention, your purpose, that decision. We're not putting in there grace. We're not putting in these positive states. So we want to allow that space to exist. And if there is a state of being that does not feel empowering, that you feel weak or small or afraid or worried, do not judge yourself. In fact, in a weird way, it's how you've taken care of yourself. And remember, I said what we try to do is we'll try to repress it, right? And then we'll try to force these good thoughts. But if we don't learn how to really be present to our own feelings and to give them space to process and integrate, how could you ever learn to trust yourself? We get this idea that all we got to do is just clear all those bad beliefs, and then we get new beliefs, and we're like some kind of like cartridge gets pulled out and put in, and now you're new. We're not built that way. But what's also inside of those little parts of you that are repressed are little parts of you that are asking for help, that are maybe hurt or wounded, or there's an inner child part of you that's asking to be loved and included. It needs to be encouraged. So we want to learn to be present to those parts of us so that we can create what we need in the moment. Okay? So this is vital. But right now, I want to just take you through this little experience. Okay? And we're probably going to be on about another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay? So right now, I want to invite you to just bring your attention, kind of look down towards your body. Okay. And the reason we're doing that is we're looking at our heart. We're bringing our attention to kind of our stomach, our lower neurology. Okay. We're tuning into our feelings. We have our feelings, and then we have our emotions. Those feelings are, like anger, or actually, we don't even know what it is. A lot of it's nonverbal, but then the emotions, that's getting those feelings in motion so they can process. Okay. So right now we're just tuning into our feeling state. Okay. And I'm going to make some statements and I want you to repeat them out loud after me. Okay. So looking down, just say this: I'm here now. And take a breath. I'm here now. Say it again. And the reason this matters is mentally, we're rushing to the future. Emotionally, we're tied to the past, but we're really not present to ourselves right here in the moment. I'm here now. Now say this: I'm here now and I'm safe. I'm here now and I'm safe. And after each statement, just take a breath. And you may notice just saying those two things, those two statements: I'm here now, and I'm safe, that there's this level of tension that already started to let go. The next statement is, I'm here now, I'm safe, and I have good food and good water. Remember, take a breath. And that's letting that reptilian, that animalistic part of you just get the message that it's okay. You're here now. You're safe now. You have good food. You have good water. There we go. All right, here's the next one. Pardon me, I'm on two screens. I'm here now. I'm safe. I have good food and water and shelter. I can rest here. And now just let yourself go to that bottom of relaxation. I'm going to say it again. You say it with me if you like. I'm here now. I'm safe. I have good food and good water and shelter. I can rest here. And just settle into your body. You might wiggle your hips a little bit. You may notice some tension rolling off your neck and shoulders. Very good. Now this one's a little longer. I'm here now. I'm safe. I have good food and good water. Good shelter where I can rest. I have tools and weapons in a good place to hunt and gather. I can thrive here. You really do have a lot of tools at your disposal right now. You have a lot of resources and help. You have an incredible territory available to you. It could be in your neighborhood, in your town, but now you're part of a greater territory called the world. And literally, you can connect with anyone in any corner of the world almost instantly. Isn't that amazing? And as a result, you can thrive here. And now we're going to expand it further. I'm here now. I'm safe. I have good food and good water. Good shelter where I can rest. I have tools and weapons in a good place to hunt and gather so I can thrive. I can bring my tribe here. Did you feel that expansion? Isn't that beautiful? You don't have to do it alone. There's already a tribe. And just imagine your tribe coming in this place that you've prepared. Yes, come on, there's plenty for us. We have everything we need here. Oof, goosebumps. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? So we're just being present. There's nothing else to do but be present. Okay? So now just notice what state of being that you're in right now as you're completely present. And think about what it is that you want to attract, create, or manifest. And remember that first question that we asked, what state of being do you want to create from? And what state of being do you want to receive from? So tune into that now. And if you're able to, type in your answer. What is your word? Okay. And I just want to remind you that this is the command for whatever it is that you want to attract, create, or manifest. And then we have this as our first command we're going to make, and then we're going to make yours. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take you through the 6 step of the one command process. Okay. So just settle in. If you need to take a little drink of water, go ahead and do that. It's just perfect. Close all the windows, all the alerts, and it's all good. And right now, I just want to invite you to ground. And picture, visualize, or imagine that you're like a tree and you have long roots. And you can feel your connection to the earth and the earth's connection to you, and just allow that creative life force energy to come up through your body. And now I'm going to invite you to bring your attention to your heart as you're aligning to your purpose. And the purpose is what you want to create. Do you want to create money, a relationship, health? Do you want to create a business breakthrough? Whatever it is that you want to create, just align to it. And that's what we're talking about on that state of being, and that it's absolutely right that you should have it. It's absolutely right that you should go for it. And it is your right to be happy and fulfilled. And feel it align to you as you align to it. Now, I want to invite you to think about your intention. And our intention is usually shown to us as a symbol. There's an image that we have that's a representation. And it could be a $20,000 check. It could be an image of you looking at your bank account statement. It could be a pile of money. It could be you sitting with your loved one. But there's a symbol, and actually there's no wrong one. And yes, just one right now. But whatever pops up, just let it pop up. Don't try to analyze it. This is coming directly from your unconscious mind. And you want to send it up this pole of light. And where it's going to go is going to go right to the planes of creation. So we're just going to let your intention go before you. And with your eyes closed, I'm going to invite you to roll your eyes up and picture, visualize, or imagine that you're traveling up a pole of light. And the higher you go, the faster you go, and soon you find yourself but in the space, in this beautiful, velvety, black void of space. And in the distance, you see a little pinpoint of light. Head towards that. And soon you break through the darkness into the light of pure open potential. And we're going to state the first command. Your eyes are up and just mentally follow along with me. I don't know how. Everything I want, need, or desire is right here, right now. I only know it is so now, and I am fulfilled. And we're just going to let that idea go. We're going to let that expand out to an idea even greater that serves more good in its fulfillment. Now, think about what it is that you want to create, attract, or manifest. I don't know how and state what you want. I only know it is so now, or I do now, and I am fulfilled. And just let your eyes relax. And we're just going to let that expand out to an idea even greater that serves more good in its fulfillment. We're just going to let it go, 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 expand out, out, out. And there's nothing to do but simply allow it to become greater. Think of all the good that will arrive because of the fulfillment of your command. How much longer your table will be, how much more abundant, how much you'll have to share, how much more freedom and peace you'll have. And right now, I want to just invite you to begin to receive with gratitude. And you're going to receive everything that you need. Every thought, image, idea, every skill, every lucky happenstance. You're going to get every sign, symbol. You're going to get everything you need. In fact, some things are going to get downloaded directly into you, like how to live from a state of appreciation or gratitude, or how to live from this abundant state of mind. This is going to be downloaded directly into you from source. And so just start to receive in gratitude, saying, yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as this is starting to come in, we're going to start making some room for it to arrive. And so we're just going to let the old ways and the old thoughts begin to unwind, 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 and let go. Everything that no longer serves you, that old way of being, it's going to be like to not be worried or anxious, to be fearful, but to be open and curious and to be appreciative of what's in front of you and allow yourself to go from the state of appreciation to gratitude to joy, and going from joy to joy to joy. Beautiful. Yeah, that's amazing. And then we're just going to allow all these new ideas, this whole new possibility. We're literally speaking to the master DNA strand and in the cells of your body and your neurology to just allow all of this to begin to rewind and integrate. This is happening at a physical level. And then, just as you're bringing your attention back to your heart and you're coming into your ordinary awareness, do an internal check-in. And as you think about your command, what do you know now that you didn't know before? If you're commanding for money, if you're commanding for bills to be paid, if you're commanding for a solution or a new client, if you're commanding for the love of your life, healing, for some situation to get resolved in a way that works for both of you. What do you know now that you didn't know before? Does it feel more possible? Does it feel inevitable? And it helps to keep a journal, to be write these things down, make notes, to track your growth, because sometimes we aren't aware of what our thinking is or that we're in a repetitive pattern until we start looking at them. But some really cool things are going to start happening to you. You're going to start having breakthroughs and ahas and funny little miracles happen, and the world is going to start meeting in a new way, and this is going to help you become more aware of it. And on those days that you're down or you forget or you doubt yourself, you have something to come back to support you. Okay? Now, we say the seventh step is inspired action, to be ready for an idea or an inspiration or opportunity, and you just go for it. And it may be a small little thing like Richard saying, I want to do this, like, oh, I need to go to the store now. He shared later in the meeting today, he was sharing this, that his job had ended and he said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do a lot more readings. And then he today decided he needed to go to a particular store that wasn't his regular store. He just got curious and he followed his curiosity, and he got into a conversation with the lady at the counter, and she said, oh, I have a psychic I love to go to. And he said, oh, really? I'm a psychic. And then she said, oh my God, we got to go talk to the lady next door. She loves this stuff. And they said, we actually said we wanted to bring in somebody who could be here when things start opening up more, so that we have something to offer our customers that's a little unique. Isn't that cool? So that's the way this works. We start being present to that. Okay. So was this helpful? Yes, no, thumbs up. My comments are disabled. I feel like I'm kind of talking in the dark here a little bit, but be sure and put it in the comments. And if you've got any questions or you're watching this at a later date, put hashtag replay, and I'll be paying attention to those comments and I'll answer any questions that you have. I want to personally invite you, if you aren't already a member, invite you to our Tuesday calls that happen at noon Central Time. They are recorded so you can watch them later. And we get together and it's about an hour. Sometimes it goes a little longer, like we did today. And we go around and find out what it is that you want to attract, create, or manifest, and how we can best support you. And we have a lot of fun, but there's a lot of love and encouragement that happens in these groups. And I'd love to invite you to be a part of it. Now, I did mention that I wanted for you to be sure to know about if you wanted to find an off Facebook solution. I do have a private members group that is non-Facebook, because a lot of folks are basically getting off of social media and they want to just be able to access the stuff. Well, I've put together a free community, and in the community, I have all the archives. I have special offers, but then I've got some archives from past calls and other programs that I've done there. So I've got a lot of goodies in there, and all you got to do is opt in for that. Now, the system is set up. They have to go in and approve everyone, so it's not instant. Initially, it looks like you get thrown back, but just go ahead, and then you'll get an email from me personally letting you know how to get into the group. Well, Stuart, so happy that you joined this. Thank you. Very helpful. And yes, this has been recorded. It's going to be in the private members area in the TOC. And yes, David, I'm going to keep this one alive in the YouTube. Okay. So that is it today. I just wanted to mention that if you wanted to work with me personally, I am seeing clients. And the best, when I work with people, it all starts with a conversation. And which is, I like to find out about what your situation is. I don't have a big application process. And then usually there's a little feedback. And then if it looks like we're a good fit to work together, I make my recommendation and we go from there. I work on what I guess could best be described as a bespoke model. And I work with what you personally need. And the people that usually come to me are action takers. I work with a lot of people that are usually a change. There's a change that's happening in their life. They feel like they've come to a crossroads, but the things that used to work and made them a success before don't seem to be applicable, and that could create some challenges for them. So I help people, one, get clarity on what it is that they want, how to do it, and how to address whatever beliefs or programs that could be stopping them, but also tune into their unique genius and everyone has a particular blueprint for success. And I start working with them so that they can uncover their own blueprint for success, so that their um, success comes to them in more natural, organic way that's an expression of their uniqueness and their particular genius. You like that? So that's pretty much how I work. And so it just starts with a conversation, and you can go to bit.ly/big vision coach. That takes you to my appointment calendar. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for taking time to be with me and watching, and be sure and invite other people to this. I have a big vision to bring we have a lot of one command circle leaders, but and I've always had this vision of this happening in people's homes, but I really see this working in many spheres of influence. We have people doing this in business and churches, synagogues and mosques, and out in open fields, and and but wherever they are, they're bringing the one command, and we want to help people share their gifts in a way that's authentic and right for them. And I've never seen a tool better than the one command. And if there's any way I can help you make your dream a reality, please be sure and reach out to me. So, my love, until next time, this is Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and I witness your mastery. Bye bye, everybody.